The drama begins with a girl named Mika. We see that Mika wants to fall in love, but she doesn't know how to approach guys, and she's very shy. At school, one of her classmates asks for her number, but Mika gets nervous and tells him no, so Mika's friend ends up with the guy. As Mika walks away, she runs into Hiroki, and Mika gets very nervous because she is scared of Hiroki. Everyone at school says Hiroki is a bad and tough guy. Later, Mika loses her phone and hears it ringing in the library. When she answers the call, someone tells her they've deleted all the information from the phone. Then we see that the same number calls Mika every day, trying to strike up a conversation. Since Mika is on vacation, she starts chatting with the mysterious guy who calls her every day. Over time, Mika becomes interested in the guy, even drawing pictures of how she imagines him, and their calls get longer. One day, during a call, the mysterious guy asks Mika to take a picture of the sky to remember their conversation. Mika feels happy because she's been enjoying her vacation, talking to the mysterious guy every day, and this makes her eager to meet her mystery love. But before that, Mika's birthday arrives, and she becomes very sad instead of happy because her parents are arguing. So Mika ends up talking on the phone with the mysterious guy, and he suggests they meet for the first time to make up for her bad birthday. They agree to meet at school. Mika is very happy because the day has come. She gets ready, prepares herself, and looks beautiful to meet her secret love. But when she arrives at the meeting place, she encounters Hiroki, and Mika gets very nervous because she didn't expect this kind of tough guy. For a moment, Mika even thinks it can't be the guy she's been talking to. However, Hiroki proves it's him by reminding her of the picture they both took of the sky, and Mika ends up rejecting him because she not only dislikes him but is also afraid of Hiroki. Hiroki had brought some flowers for Mika, and since Mika rejected him, he replants the flowers, taking care of them. Mika sees this, and Hiroki creates a rainbow for Mika while watering the flowers. Mika thinks there might be some goodness in Hiroki after all and smiles at him. Hiroki wishes her a happy birthday and then takes her home on his bike. Mika starts to feel attracted to Hiroki because, in the end, he was the guy who brightened her days with their phone calls. So Mika believes she can finally be happy with Hiroki and, in her room, decides to give herself to him, feeling a bit of pain as it's her first time. Both of them fall asleep, and Mika wakes up first. To her surprise, while Hiroki is asleep, he mentions another girl's name, and Mika feels like a fool who was used, so she runs away and doesn't know if she can trust Hiroki. Mika receives a message from Hiroki asking her to return home safely and apologizing for falling asleep, but Mika doesn't respond because she wants to know who the girl was that Hiroki mentioned while he was asleep. The next day, as Mika was waiting for the bus, some bad men tried to take her with them, but Mika ran away. Although the bad men caught up to her and took advantage of the situation, while Mika was trying to break free, she could only think of Hiroki. After being released by the men, following their misdeeds, Mika ran to find Hiroki, and he was already looking for her. When they meet, Hiroki is filled with anger because he couldn't protect Mika. Furious, he went to confront the bad men. Later, Hiroki brought his ex-girlfriend because she had hired the bad men to harm Mika as an act of revenge. Mika's sister cut the ex-girlfriend's hair, but this did little to ease Mika's fear of going out alone. Over time, Mika started to recover gradually, thanks to her mother, who assured her it wasn't her fault. She also owed her recovery to Hiroki, who spoke to her every day. So Mika decided to go back to school, and Hiroki was there waiting to accompany and protect her. Before reaching school, Hiroki took Mika to her favorite spot and told her that he wanted to be her sky to always protect her. Mika felt happy, but when Hiroki tried to kiss her, she became a bit shy and didn't allow it. At school, Mika had a tough time because everyone knew what had happened to her, and they mocked her, sending messages and leaving notes on the classroom chalkboards. However, Hiroki always tried to protect her and erased all the mean messages. This made Mika regain her confidence because she felt sure that Hiroki would always be there to protect her. So Mika decided to give herself to Hiroki again. As time passed, Mika became very nervous and worried as she realized she was pregnant. She gathered her courage and decided to tell Hiroki. She told him, but at that very moment, Hiroki ran away, and Mika felt very sad, thinking Hiroki was leaving her alone. On the contrary, Hiroki quickly returned with a gift for Mika, asking her to have the baby and promising to care for them together, always protecting them. This made Mika very happy. Hiroki decided to introduce Mika to his parents, and Hiroki's parents were delighted. However, Mika's parents didn't like Hiroki, which made him sad. Nevertheless, he continued with his promise to care for Mika and the baby. Unfortunately, sometime later, a girl pushed Mika down the stairs, causing her to lose the baby, and she became very sad. Furthermore, during her hospital stay, Hiroki never came to visit her, which made Mika even sadder. But when she recovered, she sought out Hiroki and realized he had been outside a temple, praying for Mika and the baby's well-being. So Mika also prayed for the baby to rest in peace. After their prayers, they both pledged to return to the same place every year on that same day to remember their baby. After this, Mika felt very alone because Hiroki was distancing himself from her and beginning to ignore her. Even Hiroki threw a birthday party and didn't invite Mika, but she didn't suspect anything, so she decided to attend. Hiroki seemed to treat her well at first, but after a while, Mika saw him kissing another girl, breaking her heart. Eventually, Hiroki met with Mika to tell her he wanted to end their relationship, but Mika didn't want to accept it, so she begged him not to break up, but the decision was already made. Still, Mika doesn't want to give up, so she keeps making calls and sending many messages to Hiroki, but he never responds. Tired of it all, Mika sends him a final message, arranging a meeting at the river they used to visit. Mika shows up at the place, and to her surprise, Hiroki attends as well. She takes the opportunity to confess her love to him, telling him she is still deeply in love, but Hiroki tells her that he isn't. From this point on, Hiroki starts acting rudely towards Mika, ignoring her, avoiding her whenever he can, and not even looking her way. Mika understands that the relationship has ended, and she knows that the Hiroki she once knew is gone. 5 months pass, and we see that Hiroki has met a guy named Yu, who is interested in dating Mika. However, Mika is not interested at all, so she prefers to go to the temple where they used to pray for their baby and notices some gloves that Hiroki had left there. This means Hiroki had kept his promise to keep visiting the place for their baby. As time goes by, Mika starts to become interested in Yu because he is kind and makes her feel safe, just as Hiroki did in the past. Yu makes her happy, and gradually, Mika begins to overcome the loss of her baby and her first love. Mika visits the temple again to remember her baby, and she encounters Hiroki. But this time, Mika feels different and doesn't bother asking Hiroki anything. She simply greets him and leaves with Yu, knowing that she has finally moved on from Hiroki. She leaves a note on a chalkboard saying her goodbyes and asking if he is happy. Later, Mika realizes that Hiroki responded and wrote that he used to be happy but isn't anymore. Mika feels sorry for him, but she is no longer interested and continues with her life. Time passes, and Mika lives a more peaceful life, studying at the university and still dating Yu, who continues to make her very happy. Mika no longer thinks of Hiroki, but she still visits the place for her baby and sometimes remembers Hiroki, but not in the same way. Afterward, Yu proposes to Mika, and she happily accepts. However, on that very day, Yu tells Mika the reason why Hiroki left her. Hiroki is suffering from cancer and chose to distance himself from Mika to spare her from the pain of his impending death. This breaks Mika's heart, as she had always loved Hiroki. She wants to go see him, but Yu doesn't want her to leave, as they are now engaged. However, Yu understands that Mika never stopped loving Hiroki, so he lets her go. Mika finds Hiroki in the hospital, very ill, and she becomes very sad. Hiroki tries to ignore her, as if he doesn't care, and tells her to go back to her new boyfriend. However, Mika notices that Hiroki is still wearing his ring. Despite this, Hiroki insists that she leave, as he only wants Mika to be happy, and she was happy with Yu. Mika doesn't care and asks to be with him, but Hiroki tells her he is about to die, with only 3 months left to live. Mika becomes very sad, but at the same time, she tells him it doesn't matter, she wants to spend as much time as possible with him. Hiroki accepts, and Mika stops going to university to take care of Hiroki. They both become very happy, just like they were before. One day, they go to the library, and Hiroki changes the message that used to say he wasn't happy, as now he is. They love each other intensely, but Hiroki knows that his destiny is death, so he tells Mika that he will become the sky to forever protect her. Mika doesn't want to accept this fate, so she prays hard to save him. However, one day, she receives the sad news that Hiroki is dying. She rushes to the hospital to find him, but she receives a video call from Hiroki, as she wouldn't make it in time. Hiroki asks her to smile one last time, and after Mika smiles, Hiroki passes away. Time goes by, and Mika is broken inside, unable to overcome Hiroki's death, and nothing makes her smile. That's when she decides to go to God, but just then, some doves appear out of nowhere and save her. She looks up at the sky and understands that Hiroki is the sky and will always be there to protect her. And that's where the drama ends.